Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's your boy Jonathan Bam Bam Rivers, and I want to welcome you to part 2 of the series Life Without Limits. But before I get started, I want to take the time to sincerely thank everybody who listened to the first part of the series. I appreciate all of the feedback. I appreciate the support. I'm just blessed to be in an opportunity where I can push this motivational speaker endeavor that I'm on right now. I'm really excited about it. I think there's going to be a lot of great things coming from it, be able to bless a lot of people. So I really thank you for taking the time to look after this, all right? So as I continue to bring stuff to you, please feel free to provide me with more feedback. All of it's welcome and all of it's appreciated, all right? So this week I want to talk about setting the tone. I want to talk about setting the tone in your life. Last week I talked a little bit about living your life without limits, not putting yourself inside of a box, not allowing your comfort zone to be your best friend, and being on fire for what you want. So all that culminates into how you set the tone. I want to talk about Ray Lewis, one of the best football players that I've ever had the privilege of watching. Played middle linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens for over a decade. One of the best players, future Hall of Famer. He would set the tone for his team before the game even started. If you ever watched the Baltimore Ravens play, Ray Lewis would huddle his teammates around him, and he would give them a speech that would just make the hairs on your head stand up and the hairs on your back stand up, because he was so motivated and he was so exaggerated with the enthusiasm that he had. And at the end of every speech, he would come with the chant, "What time is it?" And all of his teammates would say it's game time. So what he was doing, what he was intentionally doing, was setting the tone for his team. And I'm going to tell you what, I played ball. I played football in high school and played in college for a little while, and there was nothing more that I liked as a middle linebacker than playing defense first, because it allowed me to set the tone for the way the game was going to go. I used to beg my coaches after the coin toss, "Coach, let's go on defense first," because I would be ready to go on onto the field and lay that first hit on somebody, lay that first lick on somebody. And anytime somebody tried to run me over and come at me hard, or 2 or 3 linemen coming at me, I tell them, "I'm here all day, baby. I'm not going anywhere." So when you set the tone in your life, you have to be willing to tell the circumstances that are negative. You have to be willing to tell the tribulations. You have to be willing to tell the trials in your life, "I'm here, baby. I'm not going anywhere. I've been getting stronger and stronger for situations just like this one." It's about setting the tone. I've got 3 children. 2 boys, Kingston and Ezra, and my baby girl is Ada. And Kingston, now being 7 years old, has played football and or baseball since he was 4 years old. He does both of them. So now that we're in baseball season, every time we go to practice, I tell Kingston, "Hey, practice starts with your warm-ups." It doesn't start during practice time, because it's how you set the tone in the warm-ups. Are you throwing the ball and using correct form? Are you hitting your partner in the chest every time? Are you catching the ball with 2 hands? Are you stepping and throwing? Are you moving with the ball? Because if you're doing that, that's how your practice session is going to go. The way you warm up is going to permeate into the way you practice. And I tell them, practice doesn't start when you're taking batting practice. Practice doesn't start when you're taking ground balls on the infield, son. Practice doesn't start when you're running bases. Practice starts when you're warming up. So how you set the tone during warm-ups will be how you've set the tone for the entire practice. And think about this. When you wake up in the morning, how do you set the tone in the first 10 minutes of your day to determine how your day is going to go? Do you get up and say, "Hey, I'm going to be great today. Hey, I'm going to make sure that I try my hardest in any endeavor that comes about, no matter if it's been a repeat endeavor or if it's something new. Man, I love the day. The sun is shining or it's raining outside. I'm going to make today productive." Or do you set the tone by saying, "I hate the job that I'm working in. I can't stay in this relationship that I'm in. These circumstances are too tough for me. I can't take it. I'm going to fold before the day is out because it's just too much." If you set the tone that way, then you will see negative ramifications and negative events follow. There's a book called The Success Principles, and it's by Jack Canfield. It's a great book. I'm reading it now. And in one formula in that book that's very, very dear to me, because I feel like it's one of the best formulas I've ever seen. It says E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. Now, you can a lot of times not determine what event happens to you. Sometimes you don't have any say over that, but you have some say so over the way you respond to it. And the way you respond to it is how your outcome will be. Oh, I'm telling you, the way you respond to the event that you go through is the way the outcome will be. So if for some reason you're on your job and somebody tells you, hey, we no longer need you, you can sit there and go haywire in the office, and you can say, thank you for the opportunity that you've given me. Now I have a chance to go pursue something else with the same passion of greatness that I had for you these last few years. I appreciate it. Your outcome will be different because your mindset tells you this was just a part of my life that I had to go through. This is a part of my life that I had to deal with. Now I'm on to the next stage. You're not living in the past. You're not dwelling on any negative circumstances, because what you've done is you've embedded the right tone to be set in your life. Let me tell you about how I set the tone for becoming a co-host of a college football show right now. It's Football Nightly Down South with my boy Josh Pate. Watch us every Monday through Thursday from 10 to 10:30 on the CW Eastern Standard Time. Get it. Get it. My wife told me about ESPN Radio. I didn't even know that ESPN Radio existed. My wife said, baby, you need to listen to ESPN Radio because I know you love sports. I know you do sports. So then there happened to be a show called The Press Box that's here in Columbus, Georgia. Called into the show because it's a caller-based show, and I told the host when I talked to him for the first time, man, I love what you guys are doing. I'm going to do what you do one day. They said, cool. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know what I was referring to. They just know a guy called the show to talk sports and said he wanted to do it one day. But every time I called the show, I set a tone of speaking the best way I knew how and having the most information that I knew how to convey about sports in whatever window they gave me. If I was only on the phone for 2 minutes, I set the tone for those 2 minutes and I was going to bring you straight fire. It was going to be relevant information. It was going to be fresh information. It was going to be my take. And I did it every day. And it so happens Josh Pate happened to be co-hosting the show one day, and I called in and we were going back and forth on a subject we disagreed on. It didn't matter. And then I was interning with them and went in there one day and he happened to be there. Now I didn't know what he had planned for the future. I didn't care what he had planned for the future because I knew what I was trying to do. But after those meetings and after those instances, he realized the passion that I had for talking sports. And that, praise God, allowed me to do radio with him for 2 years, and now we are co-hosting a college football show. And it was because I set the tone for what I wanted in my life regarding becoming a sports personality, whether it be on radio or television. I'm going to tell you, you got to set the tone in your life, because if you don't set it, nobody else will. If you don't set the tone in your life, nobody else will set it for you. And if they do set it for you, it may not be to your benefit. It may be to your detriment. So I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what it is that you're striving to be. Strive to be great and set the tone. Think about Ray Lewis. What time is it? Every day you wake up, you got to say it's game time, baby. I'm ready to roll with it. I'm going to set the tone in a positive way. I'm going to be a victor instead of being a victim. I'm going to make strides in my life and nobody's going to be able to stop it because I'm setting the positive tone. Hey, that's what's up. Part 2 of the series, you got to set the tone for what you want. Again, I appreciate everybody for taking the time to listen to me. I'm coming with more heat. I'm really fired up about this, and I pray that everybody has a blessed rest of the day. I'm going to holler at you.